Silas.
Okay, well, I'm a music producer slash blogger slash educator slash physiotherapist. I'm originally from East London. Grew up there. Then from there I went through to Cape Town, studied physiotherapy there, came through to Joburg. This is where I am currently now, making music and basically plying my trade here. Yeah, so Invoy Productions, it takes me way back, man, because like we started, it must have been in 2007. That's when I really got into like making beats and all of that with skill. Basically, I had a little thing going on, almost like my own little record label. He had his Sozi, another guy, King Sozi. He had his Dope, another guy. He also tried to have his own thing going on. So we decided, and then eventually a guy called Sumit joined us as well, very good violinist. So what we eventually did is we decided to just all come together, you know, do everything as just like as a collective. And I mean, we took it as far as we could. I mean, I must have been in matric at the time. Who else? Everyone was just, you know, we were all just in different places. So what eventually happened, and the reason why it kind of just faded away, is I went up to Cape Town. Skill went through to PE. You know, people just started shifting around and meeting up. It was literally in the varsity holidays, so we didn't get a chance to work, and then eventually we just all separated and went our own ways. When I was in Cape Town, a lot of the musical stuff I did was secondary to being a physiotherapist. I obviously went there with a goal, and obviously my parents aren't gonna be happy if I make beats and, you know, blow up and then, you know, studies fail. So a lot of what I did, actually, I think it must have been on the second or third day there, I met up with this guy. He's an absolute clown. He goes by the name of D-Mania now, right? He found me, I don't know how it happened, and this was basically my first musical connection that I had in Cape Town. I mean, I was literally just the guy who, at the end of every day, just go back to my res room and just make beats. This guy found me, and we started making music together. I didn't know he could rap when we first said hello. My breakthrough actually came through while I was in Cape Town. I was on the net. Actually, I just been referred to PdotO via Blacksmithed, who are still working in True FM on Ground Zero, the Ground Zero show. And I hit the guy up, and I had beats and whatnot. So I sent beats through to the guy. He liked them, and he jumped on a track with J Lawless. This is all while I was still in Cape Town, and I think for me that was the epitome of what, you know, everything had led up to being in Cape Town. Like moving to Johannesburg and all of the moves and stuff that have happened this side, it's also kind of been like like following physiotherapy, we have to do a year, right, where we basically do community service. So I had to choose a place. So there's literally, I could try and stay in Cape Town, which is super difficult to do in any health profession. Go through to East London, which I wasn't so keen on doing. I wanted to step out a little bit and I wanted to travel a bit. So I decided, let me come to Joburg. Yeah, came through with the bag and my computer and just, you know, started making beats. I think for the first year or so I didn't do much. Again, Blacksmithed, shout out to him again actually. I mean, he hooked me up with Nick Explicit. Started chilling with that dude, we put together a bit of music. He showed me the ins and outs of the industry, you know, some of the good and some of the bad, which is great. We went through to Universal Music. I actually went there and I got my first publishing deal. It was amazing. The whole SilasBeats company, how that came to be was beginning of last year, 2015, yeah. February, I had a room, there's a room at home, right? It was used as a storage room, right? There's just beds in there. My parents had actually just made the move up. I was living alone. So when I moved in, I saw that there was this room and it had space, but it was just like packed full of stuff. So like I decided to move all of the stuff that was in the room to the adjacent bathroom / toilet that was there. Everything went in there. I kept the beds there obviously for soundproofing. Covered it up, got tables in there, took my setup that was in my bedroom and I placed it in there, and then from there things kind of had to formalize, you know? So some of the people we've worked with, artist wise, it's mainly hip hop guys, so J Lawless, PdotO, Black Les, done some work with N, Raz, a lot of the Cap City crew, Nick Explicit, Blacksmithed, obviously, D-Mania, we've done a lot of work with him, X, a lot of guys from the Eastern Cape. Moving on to the more like corporate side of things, we've worked with, I know we got some adverts on S02E08, Rhythm City, Adidas, Orlando Pirates, and then little guys like Africanian and Malcolm, a lot of work for Malcolm. A lot of that we were doing was with Jay Lawless, and hand in hand, get the work done and then send it off to the publishers and then get that done. So it's pretty much everywhere, man. Even in radio, getting a couple of jingles and all of that done as well. Like one of the policies that I've had is to kind of not discriminate against any group of people that come in. I've taken people in that literally have not recorded a single track, they just have an idea, to people that have been recording music and they've released tracks, they've been on TV, they've performed and all sorts. So I've worked right across the spectrum and it's helped me, and I feel like I can take everything that I've learned and help other people. There are just little things, I won't call them detracting things, but there are little things that they peep me off from time to time. Like if an artist comes through with a particular attitude, there's a need to record a hit single. We're gonna do it now, and I'm gonna drop it, and I'm gonna do a video. I always have this session. I'll have this 20-minute session. I'll be like, okay, cool. Let's do some expectation management. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this now. But otherwise, it's pretty much anybody that comes through. Obviously, I do have a catalog with prices and everything, and provided, I want to be careful with this, but provided people are able to meet me at least 3/4 of the way. I was from the East. Like basically how that came together was there was an article written by the Blacksmith, and it had top 10 EC producers, right? And like I read through it and I hit them up and I was like, if we could get a beat from each of these guys, we'd have a project, like a whole beat tape purely off of people from the Eastern Cape. So like after I hit the Blacksmith up, we got to chatting, got a couple of people on board. I remember due to, I think there was some contractual things with some of the guys that they weren't able to actually step forward. I think we did get replacements for some, but we ended up getting a couple of guys on, and then I did offer to do all of the mixing and the mastering. So I think that was the hardest thing. Setting up the whole Dropbox, and the guys at the Blacksmith will tell you, it was like a whole thing of just back and forth. Okay, we need these steps. Okay, cool. Right, we're gonna have tags on the beats. Okay, cool. We're gonna do this. Nah, I don't want tags on my beats. All right, but cool. Now, and then from there, I think the easiest thing about everything was I only had to run everything once. I feel like everybody was happy with what they'd done. I was actually very impressed at the quality of the mixing that was done there. It was basically for me just to edit one or two things that I heard through my monitors, and then from there just boost everything. I was very impressed with what happened, and I mean from there we got really, really good reception. A couple of guys jumped on some of the tracks, some we wanted, it was a pretty nice reception we got from that. I mean, I think one of the guys actually got a really big track. I'm not too sure who it was. It got quite a nice track done purely based on the tape. So that was a nice. At least if one of us got something, it was pretty dope. So, Devil's Playground, man, that project took a minute, man. We've been working on that thing. In fact, initially, I think P was doing like a lot of the work with Justin. Those two were like, they were inseparable. They still are at the moment, they still chat, but I feel as though, since I've had more and more involvement in it, I've been able to have P in studio, and I won't lie, seeing him work and seeing him put this thing together, he had influences of all sorts of different kind of music. I mean, it was, I can only imagine, I think it was 2011, 2012 when the whole process started, up until now, 2016. And seeing him go through all of these trends, I mean, from the sounds we had back then, through all of this trap phase and everything, he's managed to stick to what he knows best. And just watching, I think it all became real when I saw him working. He'd come into studio, and I usually never let people write. I mean, I think D-Mania is the only other person I allow to just sit in the studio and just vibe out, because the process is so taxing. But he's very quick. He'll write a track. I mean, I've seen him write entire songs in 25 minutes. We'll have everything down. The hook, I'll be like, dude, where's the hook? He's like, nah, don't worry about it. Sing it once or twice and everything is there. He, at the end of each session, if this is one thing that I think everybody could take from him, is that at the end of each session, he is spent emotionally. He sits there and he just, like, he's like someone who's been training the whole day, or someone who's just played a full 90 minutes of soccer. He's spent, all he wants to do is just go home, is finished. So, like, just watching that come together, you know, I've done production on, I think, about a third of the album. I think he went for the whole 18 track thing, you know. I did production on about a third of the album over the years. I did some mixing, did a bit of mastering, we did all the skits and everything. It's a very, can I say, a very layered project. If you listen through it, it's very layered. It's even got some double tracks on the project. So, like, yeah, just watching the whole thing to come together, I'd really, like, for the next project, I want to be first at his door, just to say, dude, please just allow me on board, because working with him, I mean, the relationship that we've built, man, like, I see him as family, you know. I look up to the guy, I look up to his craft, his artistry. He's very deliberate with what he does, although it might not look like it. He doesn't sit and pen for hours, you know, but when it comes out, I'm sure anyone that's heard him, you hear PdotO, you know that it's PdotO. So I'm keen for part 2 of the second album, man. Over the past few years, we've seen the rise of producers, a lot of people coming through, and we've seen a lot of that switch from just being a producer, not getting enough shine, or whatever the reason might be, and then moving over into the rapping or the singing world. Originally, I wasn't for it. Like, my opinion for the longest time was, you know, stay in your lane, do what you need to do. But, like, I mean, I still have moments where I'm of that opinion, where I'll listen to someone, I'll be like, okay, cool, the production is amazing, you did a great job there, and your rapping leaves something to be desired. There's always going to be something that's going to be lacking. Look at Ryan Leslie, for example. Dope beat maker, but sometimes you wonder, when you hear him singing and when you hear him rapping, you're like, you know. For me, I'd prefer to be, especially in a place where you become, so I was talking about being creatively spent. You need to feel like you've run once you're finished with your creative process. And I believe that being more than one, or be trying to do everything, it leaves you in a situation where you start to kind of half do things. You know, you kind of produce and then you spend lots of time penning, and then you're upset, and then you go back to the production. You know, there's a lot of confusion, and you know that thing that they say, rather be, you know, you don't want to be a jack of all trades, right? Because you can't really master one. And for you to be able to eat consistently, you need to be on top of your game. So firstly, major shout out to Blacksmithed for putting me on, for coming all the way to Joburg just to, you know, just to give me this interview, man. I mean, they're doing massive things for EC Hip Hop. Shout out to everybody that's in EC, you know, that's watching this. You know, I know I don't go there that often, but you know, I still have that connection. And I mean, like, just a broad shout out to everybody that is following the brand. You know, just listening to whatever it is that I'm saying, even if it is just a silly podcast. I mean, I appreciate every little listen, every little comment. Everything is massive. If you want to hit me up, you can go through to my website. It's www.silasbeats.info. Hit me up with an email, that's silasbeats@gmail.com, or you can give me a call. It's the cell phone number is 074-605-7360.